As a person who is very much into the sport of basketball, there seems to be a huge problem within the sport. No, wait, let me rephrase that. In the world of sports, there seems to be a huge problem within it. The problem itself is sports media, specifically how sports media work nowadays. As everything in our world has evolved in one way or another, so do things that you don't even expect. Unfortunately, in this case, the sports media world has gone to absolute shit. Oh wait, I can't curse or YouTube will take the money away that I used to pay for my tuition. Anyways, what do I mean by this? Well, stick around and find out what's your boy, Alvini Linguine, as I today talk about the fall and seemingly the de-evolution of sports media. Or in layman's terms, listen to a black man complain about how terrible the sports media world has become. Within this video, I'll talk about the tactics sports media companies do, certain type of sports personalities, and many other things sprinkled around as I try to make sense of whatever the fuck sports media has turned itself into. With that being said, let's try to hit the like goal of 1,000 likes to support the channel and to dig myself out of this algorithm pit that YouTube has seemed to put me in. And subscribe if you are new for more weekly basketball content like this on the channel. With all that out of the way, you already know who it is. Raleigh!
He incurred an injury dealing with weights in the weight room, so he's stitched up in the left hand doing all this.
It's over, ladies and gentlemen.
Again, we have fallen hard for what we used to have when it comes to sports media on TV. ESPN used to be the center of it all when it comes to sports media, with many great shows and some that are still airing, as even their influence on the sports media world counts for a lot of what we have today. However, as new audiences of people are starting to grow up, TV stations have to keep up with the times to catch the eyes of new viewers, and that's unfortunately where the shit starts. There are two main problems that arise with this new fleet of shows and media personalities that we as sports fans are consuming to receive news and takes. But let's go on and start with the first. First, let's start with something that I'm not the biggest fan of as a person, and especially as a sports watcher. It's the constant attention-seeking attitude of sports networks. Due to the rise of social media, a lot of companies have found a way to get in the minds of people by doing the most out-of-pocket things possible. And as you can expect, it's for the goal of getting in your pockets and getting some of your bread to buy their products. However, now there is a recent trend of corporation social media accounts being, for lack of a better word, relatable with the younger crowd, which isn't a bad thing. However, the bad thing is the trend of creating controversy on social media and creating clickbait to get people to subscribe to their premium services. The most recent example that we can all remember was ESPN coming out with their NBA top 100 players list and posting the most controversial parts of it so people can be outraged enough online and for others to go to subscribe to ESPN Plus. And the thing that they want you to do is to check out what else they did. And as you can imagine, it did just that.
Yearly bad list to increase engagement.
How is Lonzo above Levine? You guys are casuals.
Hero really got ranked 59th. All you have to do nowadays in the NBA is become a meme and people think you're amazing, I guess. So you're really going to put Tyler Hero over D'Angelo Russell Lamau. Lonzo above DLO is why I will never, ever pay for ESPN Plus. Watch the fucking games. Why do people give this attention? It's obvious they make these lists horrible because that's what gets attention. They literally do the same thing every year. They can't get good ratings doing high quality journalism and analysis, do they have to put out garbage?
Now originally I was going to make a rant video on this just because of how plain wrong this list was, but as a college student who is literally studying how social media and communications work, I know I'd be helping ESPN by making a video on this subject just because I know they want people to be outraged enough and go check out whatever the hell is wrong with the people who made this list. But this is the meta of this nowadays, unfortunately, due to how people on social media are and how gullible some of them are when it comes to clickbait. Kind of like how people used to fall for the Onion articles back in the day. So before I go to my next point, please be aware of these dumbass tactics these companies do when it comes to like sports media, YouTube, anything honestly. But again, unfortunately, the meta is to piss people off for attention. It's a sad world that we live in. It's kind of like the bitches on TikTok who act autistic or just in a certain way for likes and attention. Oh, you don't think I know about that dumbass trend? On to the next point. It's safe to say that everybody knows where this part of the video is going to go, but I'm still going to talk about this issue. Modern day sports personalities are shit. The modern day sports personalities that we have today maybe not want to watch any of these shows anymore due to reasons I'll discuss later. I probably haven't watched a sports show consistently since Sports Nation was off the air. Rip Sports Nation, I fucking loved that show back in the day. Anyways, sports personalities can make or break a show, but the current lineup of the bigger ones are just straight bad and ruin sports media for me and many other people. Now let's talk about these type of personalities I can't stand, and you beautiful people in the comments can tell me why you dislike them and if I missed anyone major. Of course, I'll talk about why people like them ruin sports media, so this doesn't sound more rantish than I want it to be. But to start this off, first off, the biggest dickhead in the sports media world, Skip fucking Bayless. Now, I am 100% aware that his moniker on TV might as well be a character. There's a chance that it isn't, but for right now, let's just say that it is. Now, he is playing his cards right as causing controversy everywhere he goes when it comes to saying the most outlandish shit for ratings and engagement is, again, unfortunately, the meta of sports media nowadays. It'll cause more and more people of his caliber to notice what he is doing, make a career out of it, unfortunately. For a person like me who knows exactly what he is doing, it just makes me annoyed because he's just ripping on the biggest names in sports for profit. LeBron James
against the Orlando Magic after he hit the shot of the century to win the earlier game. The last game of that series, game 6, to get it back to a game 7 at Cleveland. You remember this? He was pathetic in that game. And then against the Boston Celtics in games 5 and 6.
In game 5.
Okay, but both of them. Both of them. 5 and 6.
He almost had a triple-double in game 6.
Okay, but he was
game
still, it was still not
game.
LeBron performance. That was pathetic, and you know it.
Dak Prescott.
Because of all that, I don't have sympathy for him going public with, I got depressed. I suffered depression early in COVID to the point that I couldn't even go work out.
And he's even been doing this shit since forever. He called Troy Aikman for basically no reason. Oh wait, the reason was for attention, gay. If there's a big name out there that's trending, he hates on them to make people of said person's fan base mad for profit. Now, this next part goes towards the cappers out there who are probably being paid to say bullshit for a living. I am talking about the former NBA analysts who come on after retirement just to say dumb shit, probably to benefit themselves and the company. This goes out to the Ryan Hollins.
You said LeBron James the greatest player ever?
Ever.
What about Michael and Kobe? So you just gonna pass Kobe up like that?
I'm gonna pass Kobe up. I'm gonna look at Michael. I'm gonna look at the. I'm gonna look at.
I know it.
Kobe Bryant couldn't fill, or Michael Jordan fill LeBron's shoes. The impact that he's had.
And the Kendrick Perkins out there.
Perk. What? Did you say him losing 20 pounds is going to propel them to the favorites to win a championship?
Yes.
Now you can argue that this isn't an act, but even then, these are some confident ass motherfuckers with the type of stuff that they say on TV. Now, as a company, you usually want to have people who make intelligent takes to further your and the company's credibility, but with people like this on TV, it just lowers it. Now, there are more problem personalities out there when it comes to TV, like the stands, the grumpy old heads, and even the people who talk loud that want to act smart. I'm kidding, I have no problem with Shannon Sharpe. He's probably one of the more actual entertainment when it comes to sports analysis. But again, I am sure there are more notable people out there that I miss, so remind me in the comments if you don't mind, please. Now, honestly, I feel like the sports world is becoming more and more disingenuous as it develops. Unfortunately, it sucks to say that it's becoming this way. I remember back in the day when people argued that sports media was becoming way too boring, but I think it was perfect how it was. It was just people informing the masses about the world of sports, and if they had a personality, then that would be a plus. That is why I love Sports Nation back in the day with Michelle Beadle, Marcellus Wiley, and Max Kellerman. 3 sports personalities having fun and talking about sports. Now it's more about trying to get the attention of anyone who's willing to listen to cap, clickbait, and outrageous statements. I'm sure most of these people don't care about their credibility or how people view them as sports personalities, but I think the saddest part is what we are watching and witnessing nowadays on TV. All in all, please be aware of the tactics these people are doing, because the only reason a lot of these people are where they are today is because we as the audience elevated them to their position through giving them attention and notoriety. I myself went to college wanting to be in the sports media world, but seeing where it is now just makes me want to reconsider, big time. Especially since as a person who speaks their mind, I would either gain a cult following due to speaking the truth or getting canceled for, well, speaking the truth. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you learned something new, as my vision for this channel is to inform and entertain. And for my final question, what do you think about my thoughts on the modern age of sports media? All replies will be appreciated in the comment section below, as I read all of them and respond to a good bit of them. Again, like the video for more weekly basketball content, check out my social medias for the inside life of Alvini and other channel news, check out my Twitch where I stream weekly and have to go through shit like this all the time.
Grimacing face.
OnlyFans, huh? Do you want to see it? And lastly, if you want to talk to your boy, there is always my Discord. Links in the description. With all that out of the way, this is your boy, Alvini Linguine, saying peace. Also, I think it's valid to say that actual athletes know more about the sport than a person who didn't even play. Shout out to Stephon Marbury.